All right, Ruthless fans, here we are, episode 4, season 2, entitled, I believe it's pronounced Duplicity. The definition is basically deceitfulness, and that could be said about a lot of people in this particular episode. So, just to give you a heads up, you all know I'm not a big fan of gore. Yes, I know this isn't real, but I did not visually watch the ending when the highest dealt out punishment to the runaways, but I did hear what was going on. Ew. So just to give you a heads up on that. So yeah, but in any case, 8 out of 10. I know it seemed is almost like a generic. It's like, Jeremy, you always give Ruthless 8 out of 10. This is a pretty good episode. Yes, there was a bit of repetitive dialogue in certain scenes, but the highest was in street clothes. I mean, if that isn't worth a point in itself, I don't really know what else is. But sheesh, this was about 50 minutes long. So this episode itself was longer than episode 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But yeah, you know the drill. Go ahead and thumbs up the video to show you like it. Hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And you know that I'm trying to get the percentage up on my watch time from subscribers. So again, if you are a frequent viewer of the channel, but you haven't subscribed, please change that by hitting subscribed. And if you are a subscriber, well, I need you to go ahead and just watch the content. You know, that would really help. So we pretty much pick up where we left off. Turns out Tally's plan backfired. Yancey got what he wanted from her, but this dude was apparently drunk. I think he says he makes his own moonshine in the last episode, so that could explain his irrational behavior. I mean, he threatened. It's almost like he feels, oh yeah, I see how y'all got the old Raku and y'all look down on me because I'm just, a simple mechanic, but guess what? The highest needs me. I'm fixing the buses, I fixed the plumbing, the outhouse and everything. Y'all need me. And he pretty much got pissed saying like, oh, I'm going to tell the highest what you did. So Tally is just kind of kicked off the bus and she isn't going to get the help that she was told she'd get to get or at least see her daughter. Andrew confronts her outside of the bus. And long story short, Tally, you know how they always talk about how women, you know, women know the truth when a man is lying to them. And the woman will give you an opportunity to tell you the truth or just, you know, explain yourself, but you'll still lie. That was essentially Tally. Andrew knew what was going on, but she literally just said, I'm coming from the bathroom. So she comes with all these excuses like, oh yeah, I lied about my period came late, yada, yada, yada. So Andrew's like, I gave up everything, you, my job, my family, everything for you. And then he walks off, so he's pissed. He's too through, and we'll see this throughout the rest of the episode as well. So then Ruth, you know, is standing there, arms folded, while Tally comes in crying. She knew the Yancey plan was not going to work. At first, Tally's like, you know, I ain't trying to hear I told you so, but eventually Ruth calms her down, and it's like, look, I'm not your enemy. We need to work together. So Tally seems to be reined in for the moment, but I don't think that's going to last. So from there, she says, you know, oh, okay, I see what happened with you and Andrew, but I'll talk to Andrew. I'll talk to Andrew at some point to see if he's really pissed off and done or if he's still on our side. Clark actually goes up to Daikon to let him know that the runaways are surrounded in the woods. I believe that at this point, Daikon's sitting in his trailer. He's looking at all the photos and evidence. Basically, remember several episodes ago, I believe towards the... I forgot the episode. It was definitely, oh Lord, I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired here. It was towards the back half of season 1 where Melinda had Clark and one other random Rakadushi guy come into the sheriff's office to get photos of all the, you know, everything that the local police department has on the Rakadushi. Unfortunately, there was nothing useful. I mean, apparently the Raku are just an unknown variable to the sheriff's department, which could explain why in the previous episodes the sheriff was so reluctant to go up to the compound because he was afraid. There's just so much we don't know about him. And Clark is like, well, should we go back? He's like, no, no, don't worry about it. Okay, when it comes to the runaways, the highest hasn't told me exactly what to do just yet. So for now, keep them on watch for 24 hours. Basically, corner them in the woods for the next 24 hours. The highest will decide what to do with them. And after that, he also mentions how suspicious it is that the deputy's desk is empty, referencing Brian. Even Clark mentioned this when they were actually trying to sweep the police station for information. All right, so at this point, Oliver's at the front gate. Clark and a couple other people are on ATVs. They're going into the woods to, again, round up the runaways for the highest to decide what to do. And at this point, Clark's telling Oliver to stand on guard just to make sure everything's okay while he's gone. At this point, Oliver says, hey, I'll be back in a minute. So he runs to the back. He brings the wheelbarrow around. Andrew had parked the car, in an inconspicuous location so nobody would notice it. And, Oliver pops the trunk and he just tosses the limbs in the back of the trunk. And Andrew, remember, he's pissed off about Tally. He's like, man, this is too much. This is just ridiculous, giving up everything for a woman. And then he questions Oliver, like, man, what kind of, what's up with your faith with the Raku? Because Andrew knows he's about to shut this shit down. But remember, he isn't blowing his cover, but he's talking. He's letting his emotions guide his judgment at the moment. And, Oliver is, strangely enough, into the faith. I mean, he talks about how he's not afraid of jail and everything because Andrew's like, you can go to jail for this. Like, what would provoke you enough to chop a man's head off and whatnot? So that is a scary thought. I mean, in the last episode, Oliver did tell Andrew how he was in gangs and he went to prison before. So, he's done a lot of stuff. So, I mean, again, chopping somebody's head off, that's sheesh. Crazy stuff. So essentially, after they have I really did enjoy the Oliver and Andrew scenes in the episode. I will say that much. I like Oliver's chemistry with everybody, especially pretty much him and the guys. Oliver and Clark, and then Oliver and Andrew. I really like the dynamics there. But basically, again, Andrew's just sure that, man, we over here a man who thinks he's God. He's more powerful than God. It's going to fall apart at some point. And again, it's like, Oliver is standing true to the faith in the Raku, which is, again, strange because, well, no, that is true. Not everybody knows the connections between Lilo and Tyrone, aka the highest. So I'm pretty sure if he knew, I ain't gonna lie, given what Oliver did to Lilo, who's to say he wouldn't do the same thing to the highest? But in any case, Andrew gives him specific information about, hey, wait about an hour, drive this car out of here, take the plates off, bury them, clean this car from top to bottom of prints. And I think he says something about getting a truck and like bumping the car into the water just to dispose of everything. And after that, we go over to Malcolm and Sarah. And apparently Malcolm had the bright idea to tell Mac a false story about where Sarah actually was, that Sarah wasn't going over to his house. But basically, Sarah and Malcolm are staying in the house, basically Andrew and Sarah's house. It's like, I don't think this is a good idea because what if, like, let's say any of the Raku members show up just to confirm the story's true of her murder and she's there. And I did a video about this. I'm like, what if Daikon and Malcolm possibly team up? So Brian pops up out of nowhere because apparently he followed Malcolm over to the house and confronts him about whether or not he slept with Lynn. He denies it. Brian's like, look, hey, Sarah, I need to get you up out of here. It's not a safe place for you to be here right now. Malcolm doesn't back down, so Brian just decides to leave. From there, Sarah gets a bit angry about this because I don't think her and Brian know each other that well. But given the fact that Brian just seems like one of those good guys and he wouldn't confront somebody unless he really had to, she feels like there's some deception on Malcolm's part. But apparently he's like, look, don't worry about me. I care about you. I don't want you to see you dead. So here's a disguise, a wig and a trench coat. Let's get the heck out of here. So the highest is actually soaking in like a bath and rivers, just tending to him if he needs like soap and whatever. Daikon comes barging in. He gets chastised for not knocking. I'm like, that's a staple of Tyler Perry shows in general. What, like a House of Pain, If Loving You Is Wrong, Have and Have Nots to a certain extent, where people just barge into people's houses without knocking. I don't know what's worse, the fact they don't knock or the fact that people don't lock their damn doors. So after some bickering back and forth about who will go to get some lavender for the highest, because he doesn't want to hear about the runaways, but Daikon's like, well, I got the news on them. So River goes to get, the soap or whatever for the highest. And he just kind of blathers on about, do you think I need a pedicure? I think, yeah, I'll get Roof to give me a pedicure. So what he wants is for the runaways to be killed, and he wants to see it, and Daikon advises against it, but he doesn't really care. All right, so it's the next morning. Now, I could be wrong here, but I believe it was, I'm sorry for the page flipping, I need to turn my notebook. There we go. I believe it's the next morning. I don't know when the highest is taking a bath. I don't know if he's doing that at night or in the morning. I couldn't really tell. I think it was at nighttime when Daikon opened the door, but sorry about the blathering. But Joan and River are sitting next to each other. River's telling Joan that, hey, I found out. They found out. I'm telling you, I found out about the highest and Daikon knowing about the runaways. I believe River was in the trailer when Daikon had told the highest about it because the highest didn't want him to leave. So, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I got one more video to record after this. It is 7:30 in the morning and I'm exhausted. So he told Joan, I had the gut feeling. I told you we shouldn't have let those people go. Apparently, it was the 6 members. They're from the red trailer. Yeah, so they're pretty much all from the same trailer. And Joan is, wondering, I wonder if they're still alive. I wonder if they're all right. And then River's like, you need to be worried about us because guess what? If they're still alive and they're tortured or whatever, they might actually tell on us everything they know and we're screwed too. So she's like, well, I'll ask one of the elder mothers. He's like, don't do that because if you ask around, they might start asking you questions and it might come around. So one of the elder mothers comes up after she wakes up both Paula and Zane to get up to do their chores. And when Joan is speaking with her, she's like, wait, do you know about the runaways? 6 people got away last night. Do you know if they're all right? I don't know, but the Raku will get them. They sure will. And Andrew, well, we see the highest. I mean, the dude in street clothes, like, he got like some boots on, some jeans, a shirt. I'm like, what the hell? So he gets on the ATV and Andrew approaches him because he's just wondering what's wrong. I never seen you in street clothes before, sir. And the highest reassures him that everything's okay. I love how Daikon's like, your chariot awaits, sir. So they roll. I think it's the highest, Clark and Daikon. They're riding around the compound on the ATVs to go out into the woods to take care of the runaways. And the elder mothers see what's going on. It's like, I wonder where they're going in a hurry. So that's when the one elder mother tells the main elder mother about the red trailer runaways. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, what we need to do, we need to move Tally over to one of the other trailers to be a better example. That way, that's not a bad reflection on us. So I guess you could say whichever elder was in charge of the red trailer is probably going to be in a bad spot because it's like, oh, you're supposed to be the elder teaching these people and they ran away. What kind of teacher are you? So I don't know how that person will be punished, but we'll see. So Andrew goes to wake up Oliver to go move the damn car since he didn't move it last night, and the fact that the highest and everybody, the big wigs, have left the compound for the time being. And Andrew's like, well, how the hell are you sleeping like this when you chopped the man's head off? Man, I'm sleepy. So the elder mother goes over to the trailer to wake up Tally and Roof about getting things together because of the runaways. We need to fix a good breakfast for the men. Not to mention, Tally, gather your things and move over to the yellow trailer so you can be good examples for, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, the new girls that we met, Paula, Lacey, Zane, they're in the yellow trailer. So I guess you could say Tally's going to move over there to be a good example to them. That was one thing I really didn't like about school because I was one of those good, quiet kids. It's like when you move one of the worst students next to me because you think I'd rub off on them, it really doesn't work that way. It doesn't, but whatever. So essentially, Ruth reassures Tally everything's going to be okay because they're going to be separated. But I think this is again setting up to when everybody's eventually going to escape because of the fact that Tally, we know for a fact, eventually makes it to DC where she shoots herself in Nancy's house. So I think her and the yellow trailer will try to escape, and that's how she gets punished, but escapes anyway. All right, so here we get to another interesting scene. Oliver and Lacey are talking, And they pretty much recap the Lilo situation. And he talks about how, hey, the body's in the trunk. The car isn't moved yet, but I got the keys. Lacey's like, well, let's get the fuck out of here. You got the keys. Let's go. This fool doesn't want to go. And I'm like, oh my God, Oliver, what the hell? Get out of there. But he says no. Then we get to the final scene where the High is pretty much chastised the runaways and pretty much gets the beatings are so severe. I think even Daikon and Clark like, High, stop, just calm down, stop. So it gets pretty dark. But overall, this was a solid episode. I mean, I think this one episode really was better than the first three because I think, during the first three episodes, it was just such a reoccurring dialogue about where's Lilo. But I feel like this one episode felt like it moved a lot further in terms of the plot as opposed to the first three. So, you know what? Screw it. This gets a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I know I said an 8. I think this is a strong, deserving episode of a 9 out of 10. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the episode. And if you want to donate to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. You're not donating to the Raku, you're donating to my house fund. Feel free to hit me up on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.